What do we expect them to change, if anything? Was picks and bans okay for them, you reckon?
I don't dislike. I didn't dislike their picks and bans. I just think that their execution wasn't able to come together. I think the only thing I would really swap out would maybe be that Erlong Shen, but it's very clear now what Eager was trying to accomplish by banning out the Bellona and the Osiris. Sure. That was targeted straight at Walrus, because they know that if Walrus is given a carry potential solo laner, then he's probably going to make the plays that Flashpoint needed. But you take out Walrus and you force him onto a god like Erlong that Divios can easily stalemate, and that just became so difficult for Flashpoint to handle.
Completely agree. Tough banned out by Flashpoint this time. They did not like the best play in that whatsoever. Does leave a couple of opportunities though for Eager to have a little bit of choice here. They could have gone for Fafnir, they could have looked at potentially Terra or something like that, but going for Susano.
I think Susano's the best bet. I mean, Sanford Soccer, that's probably his best performance that we've seen out of Sanford Soccer so far, and I think that god is just an excellent choice for him. And now it'll be Ganesh. We've seen a couple of teams try this god out, and it's kind of been 50-50 so far as to whether or not it works. It seems as though Ganesh is a really team-dependent Guardian right now, and I really like the pairing, though, with the Kernunos.
I actually think Ganesha right now is balanced apart from objective control. So I think when the changes come through in the patch, I think Ganesh will be one of the top picks in the support role, but I don't think he's the be-all and end-all of the support role whatsoever. I think he'll fall from the banning phases to where he is right now, where he's early pickable potentially, or he'll get there later on.
And Eager trading roles with Flashpoint, trying to run the sustain composition this time around.
I mean, they gave Best Raw, so it's a good day, right?
It's always a good day for Best when he gets Raw, but I'm looking more towards that Terra in particular. Not really certain as of yet whether that's going to be going the way of Divios
Here's
or
a question.
Aurora.
I'm going to cut you off, right? What do we want Zap to play for his final game before he takes a break? What would we love? What's the classic Zap? Apollo?
On her.
On her?
It'd probably be the on her, I would say. That'd be classic. That's old school Zap.
But he's against Kernunos. Would you want Anher against Kernunos?
I think on her can box against
It's Anher. He can box against anyone.
It's Zap, man. He feels like he can box against anybody regardless. So.
Or do we want to play someone like a... Oh, you know what I want? I want his Loki game.
Yeah, Zap doesn't care about gods. He cares about people and players. And if he thinks that he can handle the player, he'll pick whatever the hell he wants.
All right, well, let's find out where he goes with that. The ban's still coming through. Isis, Medusa, Ho Yi, so he's not going to get a choice of that one in this game up against the Kernunos. So the band is Medusa too. Anher. I want Anher too.
You want Anher?
Or Apollo. I think Apollo would take me back to the real days.
I can't see him playing Apollo just because Apollo is so good right now in laning phase.
Classic Zap was always dive the tier 2 when the tier 1's still standing, looking for a kill, miss it, and then everyone still goes, God, Zap's great. Because he's so aggressive.
Dive Phoenix with T1 and T2 still up.
That's his pick. He's going for mana.
That's the Zap pick right there. That's what you're sold on.
Pick at the end. I wish it was, but he's not going to be. That's more than likely Divios. We saw him draft it earlier on last week, I believe, where they picked it very, very early before anything else, wanting to pick up that Vamana.
He's just going to run it back.
Might as well.
He's going to run it back with the ROM. A little anticlimactic, but...
Listen, we can all dream.
I mean, I'm sure that he'll still do an excellent display for his last game for a bit at least, considering he did mention it was just going to be a break until the fall split.
It better be a break. It better be a break.
So
Amaterasu will be the last pick for Flashpoint now. Amaterasu in the solo lane, more than likely for Walrus, and then Ganesha in the duo lane. Or will it be a switch-up? Will Shadow Q take the Amaterasu and we see Ganesha solo?
I think I would prefer to see Ganesh onto Shadow Q rather than Ganesh in the solo lane. I agree. Even though Divios could be on the... I just can't see Aurora playing Vamon support. No. That's the main thing.
No, you're right.
If it was Aurora on Vamon support, I'd be heavily surprised. And it's going to be Divios on the Vamon, so it's just easier for... for Walrus to take that Amaterasu into the solo lane so he can at least have some sort of a matchup trade.
Well, the last start of the game was relatively even between the two teams. They split the jungle, went into each other's jungle and just farmed it out between the junglers. This time, though, it might be a bit of a different story because you can see both junglers have started in the solo lane this game, but Shadow Q is starting in the mid lane, which means that Zap and Aurora will have pressure in the dual lane for absolutely free here and also be able to invade the buffs potentially too.
All that Sops wants to do is just play this lane carefully and farm it out. He doesn't want to take up those early boxing potentials. And Divios, he looks like he wants to take up a trade right now in the solo lane, but they're just going to disengage. I like this rotation by Shadow Q and Sheikah to immediately look for their red buff, but Aurora and Zapman have the same idea in mind. They want this steal.
Can they steal it though? No, they can't. Flashpoint get hold of the red buff, so Eager wastes a little bit of time there trying to secure that red. Bad news is Sops wasn't able to pressure the laner, worried about the rotation. Right-hand side, it's duo, or should I say jungle and solo versus jungle and solo, Eager do manage to steal away one buff so far in the jungle.
And I kind of expect that to happen. I would definitely favor a Vamana and Susano as far as early aggression is concerned in comparison to the Amaterasu and the Thor.
It's just ability-based, because Walrus wants to get the in-hands off more often than not, and if he's going to do that up against Devious Sam, he's going to take a lot of the brunt of the damage too. Shadow Q in the mid lane with Shaker. Why do we see this choice of putting Shadow Q in the mid? Is it because he just wants Subs to just play safe in the early game?
I think they kind of just expect a Kern to be safe in that in the duo lane. He's not going to really be falling. He shouldn't be dying at least. He's got pretty much an instant dash into safety, and I think that just gives so much survivability early on too.
Because in my head, when I'm looking at that matchup, Kernanos and Ganesha, I think they should outclear a Rama Terra, or is Rama that good? Actually, the level 1 that he beats Kernanos and Ganesha together.
They could definitely outclear, but the concern about outclearing isn't. I think that they wanted to provide a little bit more survivability to Sheikah in that mid lane.
Walrus is gonna fall down there for free, limping away after taking some minion poke and Devios poke with that bluestone. So Sam's like, thank you very much. I've got speed buff. I'll just walk up and give you a little bit of a tickle and a slap as well.
I'm actually surprised that Sam was able to play Susano yet again for Eager. I feel like the Susano and the Thoth, like sure Thoth was a threat and Bess is a strong player, but a lot of times Sam was catching Flashpoint off guard with this kind of setup initiation and already hitting level 5 while Mirage is only level 3. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sam try to re-initiate with his ultimate.
Well, the problem is right now is Eager's not got anything to really go and steal in the jungle, having that pressure with Sam being level 5 here. No real opportunity for them to get anything other than these elementals that have just respawned. But still, Sam might be looking towards go back to the solo lane once more with Devios for more pressure.
He can definitely catch Mirage off guard, and I think that Flashpoint are kind of expecting that wraparound. They haven't seen Sam pop up anywhere else on the map yet, so any high-skill player is going to recognize, okay, he's probably lurking in the jungle.
The back was a little bit awkward there, but Mirage going to get pulled in again. Berserker Mirage is going to avoid the knock-up, which he could have done to prevent the pull-in as well, but instead he uses it for the knock-up and will escape. Samfasaka's ult is down.
I like that decision-making by Mirage to hold his Berserker's Barrage until that ultimate from Sanford Soccer came through.
Sure, Raw versus Walrus now. Walrus consistently being pressured in this lane, and the silence got cancelled out by Aurora. He body blocked it. Bit of luck involved there, but it works out so well, and Aurora will get a kill for himself.
They are not giving Walrus any breathing room whatsoever. They are completely locking down this solo lane, and that choice by Eager to immediately recognize, hey, we don't want Walrus to be a problem.
I mean, realistically, when you look at a team, you generally look for who the superstar could be, right? And in my eyes, if I looked at the team of Flashpoint right now, I would say the superstar of the team probably would be Walrus because of the highest level that he's played on compared to the others recently. So focus on the star player if you can. Turn it around. The bad news is if Flashpoint do that against Eager, there's a couple of star players and you're not sure.
He's getting pressured back to his T2 tower by Eager. There's just, he can't even farm out his lane safely anymore. And Sam for Soccer, this isn't even really the jungle for Flashpoint anymore. This is Eager jungle number 2.
Yeah, this is welcome back to the SPL yet again, Walrus. How have you missed it so far?
I don't think he's missed it at all at this rate.
Shaker gets hit by the snap. That was beautifully timed between Aurora and the best. You saw he hit both Shadow Q and Shaker with that double up. Not enough damage for a kill, but talking about not enough damage for a kill, Walrus, not enough survivability to survive.
And this is the risk that you kind of run with the Amaterasu. But I don't think that Walrus was expecting to get camped this heavily, but Eager are not looking to let up anytime soon.
Left-hand side fight going on. The best and Zatman looking for pickups onto Mirage here. 2 snipes have hit. Third one will connect as well as Mirage sat in place with the ultimate. If you do that, you're a sitting duck. Shadow Q and Shaker forced to go back to base at the tier 2 here as Sam continuing to terrorize this right-hand side.
Mirage needed like half a second longer to get that ultimate off, but unfortunately for him, I mean, when you're standing still, it's like you said, that's free reign all day long. You're making Zap look good then.
And this squad of Ego looks pretty solid today up against Flashpoint. Now, it is Flashpoint after all, who are the lowest potential team, I'd say, of going to the top, getting to the midpoint of the season. Everyone expects Flashpoint to be near the bottom. It's a learning team, and they've had roster changes already. You kind of expect a team like Ego should be able to put on a performance like this.
And it doesn't really come as too much of a surprise to me either, because even though Walrus is a very competent player, I know that he's getting camped in these past 2 games. But he's a very competent player, but he doesn't necessarily have that team synergy built up yet, and that has a massive impact on gameplay.
Of course, because it's either he has to be calling, hey guys, I need help in the solo lane, or guys, abandon all hope in the solo lane. You need to kill everybody else and ignore Devios as much as you can if Devios will let you. Mid lane, though, Shadow Q and Shaker under pressure here with Sam closing the gap. The walls from Aurora after Mark the Snipe. Oof. That's unusual. I get to say the best Mr. Snipe. That's not normal.
Went right in between the middle.
Split the uprights.
I mean, good on Flashpoint for avoiding that situation.
Left-hand side, we've got a fight going on between Zap right now up against Sops, and Sops is trading out with the minions now coming in. Zap's going up to the sky. Sops will avoid one. He will not avoid the second, but he's not got clean-up crew enough. Sops could continue to battle this if he wants, but Zap's not letting up.
I don't think that Sops wants to keep trying to take that trade into the creep, so Zapman looks like he wants more, though.
Has he got Devourer's Gauntlets again? Not just yet. It's Ninja Tabby versus Warrior Tabby in the builds. Bluestone versus Death's Toll as well. So the Devios on the right side is finally overextended. It only took 4 men to help Walrus get a killer assist.
Hey, Walrus has got to be feeling pretty good about that one, though, even if for a moment. But having 4 members on the solo lane side just means that Gold Fury is probably going to go the way of Eager.
Devios dies, and Eager get a Gold Fury. I've seen this story before, and I like Sam's ultimate there. Oh my goodness me, Best, chill. He misses 1 ult, and then he's like, oh really? I missed an ult? Well, in that case, I'm going to time this to perfection.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Shaker didn't die there.
It was close.
I think, like, level 7 or 6, Shaker probably would have died there.
The only way that could have got better is if, like, Zap took to the sky afterwards, but he didn't have his ultimate and just picked him off with the snipes.
One of those moments where you wish you had your ultimate. But I really think that Sops needs to be a little bit more careful, speaking of ultimates, because you don't want to box out with a ROM until you're like 20% health. That's asking and get montage.
Is that the main aim from Sops in the lane as Kernanos, is to farm? You're not looking to box as Kernanos, are you, or are you? He's got great boxing potential, surely.
He's got great boxing potential, but if you're finding an even trade out to where you're both at the 20% health threshold, it's a really risky engagement or trade to try and make.
Against a Rama?
Against a Ram, because he's got his ultimate.
So when that ultimate comes out, it's just like 3 damage, I can't take any at the same time, and if you get hit by a 3, and I don't think Zap's really that scared anymore on that left-hand side. He might actually go into 2 there in a second. Best in the mid lane, just see a double tap from Mirage, but it's not all doom and gloom, because he's raw, and he'll resustain anyway.
And that's kind of just one of those gods that you really don't want to see on Best, because it's a god that he knows the ins and outs of entirely, and he certainly is feeling confident on this route. Like, the way that he's just pushed up so heavily into the lane, it just goes to show that he has no concern about any sort of double tap pressure from Mirage.
Well, Portal Demon's due up in about 1 minute and 15 seconds time, so there's going to be more pressure applied to the right-hand side here from both teams, even though Eager have pretty much left Sam for Soccer pinned to this right-hand side so far, other than the Gold Fury earlier on. We'll see what ends up happening as it continues. At the moment, though, it's all Eager.
But any fight for Eager right now is pretty much guaranteed in their favor, especially if Devios rotates, because Devios is level 10. Meanwhile, that shutdown of Walrus early on, he just hit level 7. Just hit level 7. 3
levels behind that of Devios, a few more levels behind of Sanford Soccer too. Awkward position for Walrus to be in. Oh, but Sops is going to montage that, man! No! Sops, you're too nice. Sops did that again. Like, listen, boys. Sops did that because he knows it's Zapman's break game, okay? Any other game, Sops would have got the kill there. I'm just saying he was being nice, and Zapman knows it.
Almost took the 1v1.
Too kind.
And that is the kind of trade that you can trade out and be happy with, but I'm talking about the ones where he's going even in the in-hands with Zapman, where they're both getting low.
Do you reckon this is a trap from Zapman, and before every set he's going to say, actually, this is going to be my break game after this set? So the enemy hunters, right, keep coming into the game going, oh, it's his last game, so I'm going to be nice to him, you know, because it's Zapman, I want him to go out on a high.
Nobody's ever nice to Zapman.
No, think about it. Think about
Everybody wants to solo Zapman.
But maybe on his last, if you know it's his last game before he takes a break, are you really going to want to do that?
Nah, that gives you more reason to do it. And speaking of getting montage, Sanford Soccer falling to Mirage. Best off the mark with the snipe, but it doesn't matter because Sheikah had that Aegis popped anyway.
And the funny thing is that is how good Best is, that people will Aegis expecting it to connect every single time with those snipes. Portal Demon is up. Portal Demon is about to go down. Walrus won't be turned up for this. Shadow Q on the Elephant won't be able to do too much apart from forget the fact that it was even there.
Walrus can't turn up for that. If Walrus shows his face anywhere near 4 members of Eager, and speaking of showing face, Sheikah forced into that to separate. It's just...
Aurora is fighting Walrus.
God, that pressure.
Aurora on Terra is... What? Zapman? Calm down. Calm down. Looking for the highlight again. Shaker will escape with the best amount of health. What I did like was watching a raw zone Walrus. Level 10 support versus level 8 solo. Sops will manage to pick up that red buff on that left-hand side. As mid lane the best. He's just action everywhere now. It's kind of like a ranked game. This is what it kind of feels like.
I don't think that this is what a ranked game feels like.
Oh, it's because you play with Matty. I'm not going to do it again, but like, it's because you play with Matty, you're always losing. Eager, meanwhile, though, are just like running lanes everywhere. They're rotating around. Aurora's basically just free roaming around, picking up kills, picking up assists where he goes, and stealing away farm.
And I just can't believe how much pressure Eager has been able to exert. And I think it really just all starts off with the fact that they just made Walrus not matter. He is not a factor in this game, and I don't think he will be unless this match goes to 25 minutes or plus.
Well, they've forced flashpoints and potentially group up as 3 or 4 already in the mid lane, because even Walrus is like, guys, I can't get farm anywhere. I'm still level 8, so I might have to come mid and help out. Here he comes around the corner, but most of the damage has been done by Eager so far. Aurora could be in a bit of trouble thanks to the ultimate coming out right now from Walrus, and in the sky waiting is Mirage. The snipe from Best may turn that around, though, as Walrus is now limping away. Mirage jumps to his hammer to get away, and Zapman does get picked up by Sops, who was the last man to get to that fight, but he may be the first one down for Flashpoint. Still being pushed out and no real support from Flashpoint, but Sops does what he needs to. Meanwhile, Walrus may be in trouble.
I did not think that Sanford Soccer was going to just let Sops get away there, but unfortunately, cooldowns got the better end of that exchange, and Divios was just trying to take this T2 tower, and he might get away with it.
Divios is still playing the adventure mode on the PTS. That's what's going on right now. He's trying to get loot out of the tower.
If Divios had rotated to that team fight, I don't think that 2 members of Eager would have fallen there, but at the very least, he's looking for that T2. He might end up costing him his life trying to brawl out.
Brawler's beat stick from Mirage is the problem, because it's reducing the amount of healing Divios is getting. But there's not enough damage from 2 members of Flashpoint, and I think they were a little bit worried about those 2 in the jungle from Eager that were rotating in to join the fray.
Best in Sanford Soccer would have cleaned that up so easily, so I think that that was great discipline by Flashpoint to not pursue the kill onto Divios, because they had to wait for their cooldowns to be up anyway, since they just expended them trying to burst out Divios in his baby form, but man, that is kind of unlucky.
Well, Tier 2 tower on the right-hand side is on its very last legs, and the Tier 1 tower for Flashpoint as well is about to fall momentarily. He's at less than 50%, but with the Gold Fury up, Eagle will be paying their attention there once more, and that's why you can see Aurora just hanging around here, looking for a small opportunity to make sure he can get some wards down if he thinks they've got control.
It's still nearly a 6K gold lead at only 13.5 minutes. That's a pretty brutal disparity.
I really don't care about gold that much these days, Taco. For me, it's all about the experience. Like, every single time, most of the games, you know, you see the first 15 minutes of the game every time, and if the experience isn't close to like a 1-2K deficit, you're really in trouble.
I think depending on the gods, the gold can really matter, because for the kind of gods that Flashpoint are running, items are the most critical part.
Oh, Shaker just got baited hard by Aurora. He's forced to use his Aegis, and Sam could potentially clean this up afterwards with the Disapparate, and here we go. He's looking to aim it. Aims it to perfection, and ShadowQ can't do anything to put him in a box.
That's like the worst feeling in the world. Yep. Speaking of worst feeling in the world, Sops nowhere to go except for his tower, but the Sunder is good.
Steal it, Aurora!
Aurora's looking for it. No, he's going to let Zapman have it.
Zapman gets the kill. Tier 1 tower will fall momentarily afterwards. ShadowQ swings in, just a little bit too late to defend that one. But with 3 members here, ShadowQ may lose his Tier 2 as well.
Unfortunately for Sops, he picked the wrong tower to run to. Maybe if he'd dip to that T2 tower, he might have been fine, but either way, just no escape whatsoever from Eager. And they, again, are just taking complete control of the map, complete control of the pacing of the game, and everything that Eager does, it's just Flashpoint trying to have a reaction to.
It's just not working out for Flashpoint at all there. You saw the wall didn't hit and it blocked Walrus.
They don't know where to go.
In a matter of seconds, they lost a Tier 2 tower in the right-hand lane, Tier 1 and Tier 2 in the left-hand lane, and a Tier 1 in the mid lane. That's a big gold swing just off the towers.
They legitimately have no idea where to go. The members of Flashpoint are just keep getting so spread out. Mirage is looking to go up into the sky, though. He wants to fight.
Zap still tanking it up, and you can definitely see Thor up there, and he will reset the last second. Dunk down onto Zapman, no, but Mirage loses that trade, dives into danger as Divios is waiting for him too. Zapman with the snipe will help clean it up, and the best was looking for a cheeky steal. ShadowQ forced out as well, and Zap will reset, going back to the Gold Fury after 1 pickup of the jungler from Flashpoint.
And there's just absolutely nothing to be done by Flashpoint. I think that they're already too far behind. Sheikah is just going to get run down by Divios. He's got his cooldowns available, so he's not even going to bother staying in baby form any longer.
Divios is fighting as a pig. Divios as a pig was fighting Sops there. He's like, I don't care. There's only a level difference between the two, though, so Divios is in a lot of trouble here. No big baby left available, but he's buying enough time for himself and bringing Walrus into the fray that Eager are going to bite off even more here and get the portal demon for Divios buying all that time.
I can't believe how long Divios was able to survive there. But I guess that's just the power of being a level 16 Vamon with Stone of Gaia, Spirit Robe, and a Gladiator Shield.
Yep, survivability is the key. That's exactly what you need as a solo lane warrior here. 9-4. This game is pretty much done, Taco. I don't like saying that too often, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't like agreeing with that too often, but this is kind of just one of those moments where you just try and reflect as a team where exactly things went wrong. And I mean, obviously they had issues in that solo lane side because of the rough start that was given to Walrus, where he just had no... He had no control over the lane.
Had no chance whatsoever. Even though Mirage started in the solo lane after the initial fight and Walrus getting picked up in the laning phase there, I think it comes back to Mirage kind of gave up the go of trying to pressure that anymore after that in game 2. But there was no real impact from anybody on Flashpoint this game for me. That was the biggest issue. They were all just trying to do their motions. You know what I mean? Going through the motions of playing your role. It's not like game 1 where we did see that fire giant call, which I think was really good. There's just no signs of anything like Flashpoint. Just realized that this is kind of a dead dog right now.
That's kind of the fun part of competitive gameplay, though, is that one mistake or just one death pretty much can cost you the lane or like a game. And in this case, like pro players.
Oh, Mirage. Oh my lord! There's no need for that. There was no need.
You almost want to look away.
Yeah, you're just like, no, stop, stop. They're already dead. The tier 2 tower being assaulted in the mid lane now by 4 members. Zapman joining the fray any second. Shake is already low once again. The walls from Ganesha are good to pin them in place, but the piggy is on. Zapman crits onto Shadow Q and picks up the kill. Sanfasaga's one hit from death, and Walrus just can't make it there in time again. Devio should be able to pick up Walrus any moment, unless the best takes it for himself.
And it's just... Again, like I said, I really don't think that it was the top that was the issue at all. I really think it was the Susano. That setup that Sanfasaka has had this entire game, and the fact that he's running through Flashpoint with Susano just goes to show the potency of this god. And Best, can you calm down? Can you relax?
I know, he's got no chill whatsoever. Left-hand side, the Phoenix is still standing for a moment, but they're going to backdoor this with the sustain and DVOs too, and a roll. Look at how much sustain they've got on this squad here in this game. So they're going to chip it down to half health, but it's taken them a while without the minions being with them.
This is what Flashpoint wanted to do last game. They wanted to have that sustained composition that they could run through and see
Shaker
everything
too far forward, didn't see Sanfasaka coming around the back. Snipe time again! Shadow Q burst into half health. He was really looking for Shaker there for the cleanup again, but the Best won't find it this time.
Best is half healthing the Guardians.
Yep. I think his power comes from the skin. I'm not gonna lie.
The skin of
I actually think the skin that the Best uses, there's a secret aimbot involved in it that nobody has actually announced.
You actually get plus 50 power every time you spam laugh with Raw.
In that skin, you also get plus 50 power and 50% accuracy during your ultimate too.
It's not too far-fetched considering how Best has been playing this god. So it's just always incredible seeing Best on a god like Ra. I don't know, he's just nutty with it.
He's one of the only ones that really does the 1-4 combo so very, very well. You know, he hits the line nuke along with the snipe at the same time, and he times it to perfection so often that they always connect at the same time.
That also comes with having played Smite for so long, I think. He's always been a really strong mechanical player. It's very evident on a squad like Eager, and this by far has been like the most connected that Eager has looked, and it's that man's initial break game, so I guess his team wanted to give him a good note to go out.
You ready, Taco? Shaker in the left-hand side. Come on, Shaker, go for the Phoenix. There's no reason to come back. If Shaker goes to the Phoenix, they've got to way back in. That's my call now. Shaker needs to end the game on his own.
They can't go for the Phoenix, though.
Go for the Phoenix.
By the time Shaker makes it to that Phoenix, the Titan will be gone.
You reckon?
There's no way. Look at Flashpoint's damage to that Titan.
Only hope.
The Phoenix is just shredded.
Right-hand Phoenix is about to fall down. Shadow Q close to falling down too, and that's not enough damage, but the snipe will be again from Best. Zapman doesn't even get a chance to get a highlight reel kill at the end of his game, and now the Titan in mid lane, with the fire minions pouring in, is under threat.
That felt like Eager was competing to see who could KS it first.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what that felt like. And I mean, against Best and Zatman with the snipes, it's just who's got the ultimate snipe. Sobs, on the other hand, he's running away. There's no escape from Divios for Walrus yet again. Falling victim to the baby.
Mirage gonna go to the sky at the moment to see if he can wait an extra second and buy some time, but Eager are so split up. And Zap jukes it out too, so Divios gets credit for that kill. Titan not really being focused here, it's more about farming the kills, I guess, but Zap's had enough, I think. He's gonna pick up Shadowkey if he can one more time. But the silence causes some issues for Sanford Soccer at the moment, and we're still waiting for the Titan to fall.
Sam's not looking to let up though. Sheikah trying to escape, forcing the sap break. Ganesh ult is good, but the Titan is already dead.